Bengal is famous for its Sundarbans. Can you tell me in how many list is Sundarbans added, and what are the various designations that Sundarban has received from Government of India?
Ma'am, it is one of the UNESCO World Heritage Sites, and recently it was included in the Ramsar Convention as well.
Okay, and in Government of India's designations, is it a biosphere reserve, national park? What is it?
Ma'am, it is a biosphere reserve, and there are various national parks within Sundarbans. I'm not able to recall the names of the national parks right now, but
Okay, which is the identifying species in Sundarbans? What is it identified with?
ma'am, the Sundri trees, which is the mangrove vegetation, along with the Royal Bengal tiger.
Okay, can you give me the conservation status of Royal Bengal tiger?
Ma'am, it is endangered species.
And in Wildlife Schedule of India?
Schedule 1.
Okay, and it's recently told that Bengal tiger is soon facing the threat of extinction, and the reason is bigger than just poaching or encroachment. Can you tell me what is the reason?
Ma'am, the habitat destruction is the main reason for the endangerment of tigers, because while we are reclaiming the wetlands and shifting towards urbanization, the habitat which is needed for Royal Bengal tiger is shrinking, and that is one of the main reasons.
Does it have anything to do with rising sea levels or rising siltation?
Yes, and that is another one of the reasons, because Sundarbans lies in South 24 Parganas, just at the Bay of Bengal level. Therefore, due to climate change and rise of sea level, it is under threat of inundation as well.
Okay. When we look at all the metropolitan cities of India, the Kolkata comes across as the most congested city, and it looks like the city has left its glory long time back. There is nothing about the modernism of Kolkata as compared to the newer cities in India. Why does it look like that? Why Kolkata is not, feeling youthful, while it looks like a old era?
Ma'am, even Rajiv Gandhi had said that Kolkata is a dying city. The main reason was because the economic activities which I mentioned before regarding Bengal, they shifted from Calcutta to Delhi. And second, although the entire urbanization of India began from Calcutta, but the governments did not do much to equip it according to 21st century requirements. Ma'am, for 34 years, we were under the left government's chain, which was very conservative mindset with regard to these urbanization plans. And even now, the Bengal has the second highest population density of India. So due to unplanned urbanization, this is one of the main reasons that Kolkata is one of the most congested cities.
Okay. Can you tell me something about Operation Trans?
No, ma'am, I'm not able to recall that.
Okay, my last question to you. When India talks about its Act East policy, it's usually taking care of the northeastern states, and it rarely talks about West Bengal. Does West Bengal has a stake towards India's Act East policy, and how can it help? Or
Ma'am, because West Bengal is directly connected to Bangladesh, and there have been various projects called, namely IMT, the India-Myanmar Trilateral. Then we have the Kaladan Multimodal Rift Valley project, which is ultimately passing through Calcutta. So Bengal has a very large role as for the Act East policy. Even the northeast is connected directly to Bengal through the Chicken's Neck, so it has a great role. But due to lack of cooperative federalism, Bengal is being neglected in the discussions, because India and Bangladesh relations have been the land boundary or the Teesta issue that has been brought to a standstill due to that. So we are not talking about Bengal in the Act East policy model.
okay, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Right, Raunak. You just mentioned that Bengal is not being consulted in its India's Act East policy. But do you think it makes sense for, say, domestic politics to influence foreign relations with a third country?
Ma'am, although in the constitution it's written that for international treaties we do not need the permission of state governments, but the ultimate change has to be brought from the land. Even if laws are being made at the center, the connection, the people exchange, trade will ultimately take from Bengal as a state. So state interaction and cooperation is very much important for the implementation of the laws and various policies for Act East.
Okay. And staying with, say, international or foreign relations, where are tax havens in the world?
Ma'am, we have the Cayman Islands, Switzerland, Singapore, Trinidad and Tobago, and Mauritius.
And what is so unique about these places?
Ma'am, the main thing is the tax laws which they have, which they charge minimal or no taxes on the incomes. Secondly, they have an agreement with the depositors wherein they are not, under no obligation to disclose the assets which have been deposited. So these are the two factors which make them as tax havens.
Does India have any agreements with these countries so as to say ensure that the tax paid is not zero?
Ma'am, we have the Double Taxation Avoidance Agreement and GAAR, which is called the General Anti-Avoidance Rule, which is a part of Income Tax Act. And we are on the process of increasing that to a larger number of tax havens so that it is at least taxes in one of the jurisdictions, but not taxed doubly twice.
Okay. And you are a CA.
Yes, ma'am.
So the integrity of CAs has been brought into question a lot in the recent past, maybe with the IL&FS and the other crises going on. So why do you think it is like more, say, institutional, the integrity that is being called into question about data manipulation, whether it be fudging? So where do you think the fault is lying?
Ma'am, it is lying both on the institutional front and the personal front of the fraternity. The entire fraternity is not flawed. Some of the elements are adopting the corrupt practices. So on the institutional front, since ICAI, that is the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, that was the exam conducting body and regulatory body, so conflict of interest prevailed. But after the constitution of NFRA, National Financial Reporting Authority, that has been removed. And to a certain extent, it is expected that that conflict will be resolved because ICAI will just be conducting the examinations and NFRA will be looking into activities whether the auditors and the CA firms are following the ethical standards or not.
Right. And why do you think that India as a country is shying away from adopting the accrual basis of accounting?
We are shifting towards that around a decade before. The entire government accounting was based on cash basis. But recently, we also have the IGAS, which is the Indian Government Accounting Standards, and we are on the path to achieve accrual basis. But since the Panchayati Raj and the urban local bodies, they are situated in very far-flung areas which are not developed in accounting-wise. Therefore, we have to resort to cash basis in some places, but we are on the process to achieve accrual basis.